Hello, welcome to Beyond Board podcast. We have a very interesting topic today, for you guys. Just stay tuned. Of course, is your girl on your D, and with me in the studio is Pastor Francis Ogu and his lovely wife, Mrs. Rosemary Francis Ogu. Welcome to the show.
All right, viewers, I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you, and Mrs. Rosemary.
I'm also happy to be here.
Thank you so much. So, guys, today our topic, very interesting topic, very, very interesting topic, and I'm very sure you're going to go home with a lot. There's a lot planned for the show today. Our topic is perfect love cast away all fears. You got that right. Perfect love cast away all fears. I mean, in the world that we live in today, you hear about love, love, love. It's not everybody that really know what love is, right? So we want our guest in the studio today, Pastor Francis, to give us an insight on what perfect love is. Should we be looking out for when we say perfect love? What does that term, perfect love, connote? Pastor Francis, over to you.
Thank you. When we talk about love is not just a feeling, and love is not just an emotion. Looking it from this biblical aspect in 1 John chapter 4 and verse 18, the Bible said, perfect love casts away all fears, because there is no fear in love. We are talking about the love, the kind of love that God has for us. Because we are born of God, so we inherited some attributes from God, which is the nature of love. So when we are in love, we are not supposed to entertain any form of fear, because God loved us and there was no fear. There is no fear in God. So that was why He was able to give His only begotten Son. So when you are in love, and that love reflects the kind of love that God has, it casts away fear. One, fear has torment. When you are afraid, you can't love. And even if you love in fear, your fear cannot be perfect. But when you have that love, that spirit of love, because love is a spirit and it's also a fruit that can grow. Love is like a seed. When you plant a seed, you need to water the seed. You need to see that seed germinate to become a fruit. So love cannot die. Love is not something you feel today and tomorrow you love me today and tomorrow you don't want to love me again. No, that's not the kind of love we are talking about. We are talking about the kind of love that God has for us. The nature of love, that is a perfect love. And when we reflect back that love to God, it becomes perfect. Just like the scripture also let us to know that we should love our neighbor. Every man needs a neighbor. Your wife is your neighbor. Your wife is your neighbor, because you cannot hate your neighbor and you say you love God and you have not seen God before. Why your neighbor you are seeing and you claim you love God and you hate your fellow woman being, your fellow neighbor, and you said you love God? Then how can you love God that is a spirit and you claim to love your neighbor that you are seeing physically? So that perfect love we are talking about is the expressions of God's love for us. God is perfect in love. God is perfect in nature. So we are of God. We are God's children. So every animals produce after it Christ. So if God is love, that means there should be that kind of love in us. Not love that has condition. Not love that you love because of the person is beautiful. You love the person because he's worthy. You love the person because he's handsome. In case those things were not there, will you still love that person? So perfect love is that love that God gave to us. It's that kind of love that God has for human being. So we as a human being, we are supposed to have that kind of love. It's supposed to be in us. But most people do not develop that love because love must be developed. You must develop it. You must grow it. You must water it. You must watch it grow until it becomes perfect. So you can't love if you don't know God. And if you know God, then you should love. And when you love, there is no fear in love because every love, fear does not come close to a perfect love because perfect love casts away all fears.
I mean, that's a very insightful angle to perfect love. Yes, actually, biblically, God is love. We've been hearing about this since. And of course, if you are a Christian, you know what the Bible portrays love to be. You know, I mean, God sent His Son to die for us, right? But Pastor, I know that asking you what perfect love is, you give us quotes in the Bible. You talk about it. You know the way the Bible has expressed what love is. But to our viewers, because we have viewers from all faith, Muslims, Christians, not Christians, and all of that. So it will be like we're biased, right? So if we are talking about perfect love in terms of human beings now, like let me just break it down. In terms of, for instance, as you rightly mentioned, you are married, right? And or rather, you want to get married, and you're looking out for somebody who understands you, somebody who shows you a certain kind of care, certain kind of, I don't know, attention. I mean, it depends on what you look out for when you want to get married, right? What would you advise or what would you tell our viewers to look out for before they get married? What are those little acts of kindness, those love gestures they should look out for before they say, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with because he loves me, he loves me for who I am. What are those things would you advise?
Fine. Number one, you have to look out for likes. If what you like, you have to look out for let me say vision. Like the scripture said, two cannot work together except they agree. So before you say I do to a lady or to a man, there must be something that connects two of you. There must be that support. The person should be able to support you, to support your vision. The person should be able to believe in you because it may not be now, but the person should be able to see your future, should be able to see where you're going. He should be able to agree with you and respect too. The person should be able to respect you. You also should be able to respect the person. Either the woman should have respect for the man, and the man should also have respect for the woman. So there must be this connection between both of you, this passion. There should be passion, something that connects both of you that you can't do without each other. And both of you should have the same kind of, vision. You should be able to communicate your vision to your partner. In the next 5 years, this is where we are going to be. I am like this now, but in the next 3 years, this is where I'm going to be. And your partner should be able to believe you, and also to support you for the meantime. So if you find out that you have a supporting partner, someone that respects you, someone that believes in your vision, I think that's a good sign that
Yes.
both of you can make
Okay.
a good marriage.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, Mrs. Rosemary, over to you. I mean, before you decide that okay, Pastor is the man for you, I'm sure you saw some signs. You saw some things that you believed that he will be the perfect man for you. I mean, maybe you have one or two advice to share for all single ladies. When we want to settle down.
My little support, my little advice to viewers is that before any woman can decide that this is the right man for me, there are many things you have to look at out of the man, let's see the man for the first time, say, this man, I love. There are so many ladies that make mistake like that. Just see a man for the first time, just fell in love. There's nothing like trying to view things in him, discuss, go into discussion with him. What are the things you like? What are the things you want to do? What are the things you want to become? What kind of vision do you have? When I met with him, like let me use him as an example. Let me use us as an example. When we met, we met as a friend. We started as friends. We discussed as friends. We share things together, vision together. We feel like this our vision is more like. So how are we going to do it? Is to put it together. That means we are matched. So that was how it's supposed to be. When you meet with a man meets with you and say, this. If you start, even if there is feelings, there's love, yes, things you need to look at, like, what has the vision? So, Mama, I want to go into art. The woman say, please, I don't want to be a teacher. I want to be a policeman. I want to be a policewoman. So I want to be a soldier. There's no agreement. So when those two eventually meet together and become husband and wife, the argument has started from the beginning. So this is obvious that the understanding cannot come. Because this one is dirty to the left, this one is dirty to the right. So how are they going to dance together? That is where that love, that understanding is missing. When there is no understanding, the love cannot be strong. There cannot be perfect love. But when you talk about perfect love is when they say perfect love has away fears. Perfect love is something that you feel inside you that this my partner went out and this is where he went to. If he's not there, he will let me know. If it's the woman that went to the market, there's another thing that make her to after that market you went to different place. That woman will call, honey, I am not in the market again. No, I just left the market now. So please, if any news of maybe somebody want to put us under, call the man. I saw your wife in Guaripa. What is she doing there? She told me that she's going to Guaripa. It's the understanding is there. So there's no way that love, the perfectness of that love will not be obvious, will not be sure.
But I'm not an expert in this field, I will not really, but from my own personal experience, let me use me for instance. I've been in a situation where I thought that this person was the one for me. He's the man I will end up with. And like you mentioned, Ma, you said if I tell my partner now that I'm going to this place, and if, for instance, I have to change direction, I should be able to call him and tell him that, okay, I'm going somewhere else from where I told you. Right. We were like that. Well, me, I thought we were like that. Let me just use me. It was me that was thinking that we were like that, And it still turned out to not go very well. Like, everything still ended in a very sad way. So, like, is love enough? Would you say love should be the basis? Let me ask Pastor now. Should you say love should be the only criteria, the only thing you should look out for, when you want to decide if this person is for you? I don't know if you understand what I mean.
I understand very well.
Because some people will say, hey, I can't sleep without hearing her voice or his voice, and he makes me feel good just because of that feeling. And then they ignore every other thing just because of that feeling. So would you say love covers every other thing, or there are more to it?
Okay, like earlier said, love covers multitude of sin. Most people don't understand what love is. But in times of relationship, that leads to marriage, love is not enough. Your partner should be able to understand you, respect you, and trust. One thing that most relationship lack is trust. And you need to trust someone. And trust is, you must build trust. You know, some people you can't be in a relationship every time you're in fear. You don't know where your wife is. Your wife told you she's going to Warapa, and the next thing you are seeing her in Maraba. You understand? So these things are critical problems that most people have, and two, you must be conscious of your relationship. Don't be careless about your partner. You know, some people, because I love you does not mean you should misbehave. My partner love me, so you start misbehaving. Like there's a scene in like one a popular Nigerian singer that said, "You tell me make I put one leg for fire, say I no go put because I love you, say make I put one leg for fire." You know that guy. So if it's not because I like this, my wife, I always tell her, you know, I love you so much. Sometimes she used to misbehave. I will tell her, I say, because I love you so much, you're doing like that. She will not come back to her senses. So that somebody loves you means he trusts you. So you two should be able to build that trust. You should make your partner feel good. You should know there are languages of love. You should know when your partner is in pain. You should know when he needs you. Because when you love someone, you always want to be around the person. You understand? You always want to be around that person every time. So love attracts. You know, I also believe love at first sight. You know, when you see someone,
Hey,
yes,
I don't believe in love at first sight though.
because there's love at first sight. Something
I don't
just
believe
attracts
in it
you.
though.
Before you see somebody, maybe the way the person looks, so physically, you know, you cannot just see somebody and like the person. There must be something you see in that person.
Mm.
Maybe the person, the way maybe he's fair. Like I always tell people, go for what you like. If you used to like fair woman, make sure you marry a fair woman. Don't you know, that's why, like me, I like fair people. So I marry a fair woman.
Mhm.
So that I know that if I see a other fair woman outside, I know I have one.
So
So it is that love should be there, first of all. Then it will not attract you to the kind of person you want. So love is not enough. Caring is also there. You should be able to care for your partner, provide for your partner, protect your partner, always be there. And lastly, communication. What breaks most relationship and marriage is lack of communication. Some people don't even call. Imagine somebody will not call his wife all throughout the day, and he will come back home, he will say he want food. He will start disturbing the woman throughout the day. If he didn't call, the woman will not call. Communication is part of love, because when no matter how far that person is, you should be able to call him to know how the person is doing, to know whether it's okay, to know what his needs are. Love is, I believe so much in love because love is like a fire. Many water cannot quench it. And when you are in love, you will know. Because you will really know, because your spirit, your soul, and your body will be connected to that person.
Yes.
There will be a connection between you and that person. So love is the greatest.
Mhm. That's very simple. Your spirit, your soul, your body will be connected
Yes.
when you're in love.
Yes.
That's actually very deep. Yes, it's very deep. At least you know that you're in love when your spirit is in tune with the
Yes.
person, is in sync with the person. Well, but some people still they have all this feeling they feel like it's like that. Their spirit is in tune, their spirit is everything, and still it doesn't work out. Okay, now if we're talking about um being in sync with somebody and then you go ahead to marry them, why do we still have divorce cases? Well, I know that's not within our purview, that's not within our topic, so I don't want us to derail. But why are we still having cases of divorce? You know, in me, from my own point of view, I would see it from the angle of people are not satisfied. Satisfaction is the problem, I think. A lot of people are very greedy, they want to amass a lot of things for themselves, and they are not patient.
Yeah.
They are not patient.
I'm not patient at all.
Yes, and maybe that's what will prepare them to want to leave their marital vow, leave the marriage, and they want to go and look for what, I don't know, outside. So, but at that point in time, would you say love died? When it gets to that stage where they want to leave the marital vow, the vow they made to each other, they want to break it. Would you say the love died?
Sometimes the love does not die. Sometimes maybe the both of them they do not feel the same thing. But it happened this way when the other one maybe one person is in love in this case, the other person is pretending. When the other person pretend, that person that even the love of the other, that pretender can even damage or kill the love in the other person. Like when two people feel the same thing, that is when you see that even if there is any third party, anything that come between that marriage, it cannot die. It cannot. There will not be any divorce. It can be okay. I'm angry. I want to go to my father's house and give you time to think. Let me tell you, if that woman or that, let me say that woman, because it can only happen if both of them feel the same thing. The woman take her bag before this woman will get to the bus stop. The man will realize himself and say, my wife is leaving. Oh, I thought she's pretending. I thought she's joking. You run after her. If I thought she has gotten to her parents' house or this, you will still see maybe the next day the man is already there. It's just a mistake. Oh, I didn't know you take it serious, because he slept over it and realized his mistake.
Yeah.
But when the both of them are not feeling the same thing, as soon as the woman take her back, the man look for alternative, because he's already having alternative out there.
Yes.
When there's alternative, even a woman have alternative. My every little thing, you'll be thinking of that alternative. I mean, this man leave me, another person will come.
Yes.
This man is even already disturbing me. He's even better than him. He has money. He has this. So those are the things that lead to breaking up marriage.
Yes.
When the man is seeing other people, alternative, or another woman are disturbing you, and you are posting, they are giving them hope. And the woman, other men are disturbing the woman, she's giving them hope. When every little thing the man does will trigger the woman to say, I beg, let it just go. Let him go now. See me, I'm so beautiful. Other women are looking for me. They don't think otherwise. There is me, I used to go, if I go out like this, I'm like, you are beautiful, you are so beautiful. I'll say, my husband used to say so. You are married, yes. My husband used to tell me.
Let them know.
So if you don't tell them like that, they will confuse you. That they will just brainwash you. You think that my husband have never tell me that. Are you married? My husband does not even admire me. That is where they go astray.
Let me ask you, man. Well, I'm interested in what Mrs. Rosemary has to say, because we women, we are very gullible. We are very gullible when it comes to when a man approaches you now, for instance, and tells you about marital relationship. Once he mentions, I want to marry you, it's like all the buttons, just get turned on. This one is my husband. And you might not know that you're doing it, but as a woman, you just start seeing yourself behaving like a wife material, because this person have come to you to tell you that he wants to marry you. And then you tend to ignore all his other bad sides. So I want to ask you, so that you explain, because you're married, you explain to our single viewers, what are those signs? Because I'm sure, the signs will always be there. When a man comes to you and say he wants to marry you, how do you get the conviction in your heart to know that this man is genuine? And then Pastor to add voice to it, but let me get your own angle first.
It's a very like I don't know how to put it. The statement is more that we cannot finish it, but I can't tell it all. Let me just that way. But the signs that you see in a man, right there, I cannot tell you that I'm perfectly. I'll tell you that this is the sign you get to know. Except God.
Yes.
Outside God, you cannot know, because there are so many pretenders out there.
True.
They will come to you. You will see you will see their seriousness. They will tell you, come and talk to my mom, come and talk to my dad,
Yes.
come and talk to you will be convinced that this man is the right man. The one I was dating since, he has never taken me to speak to the mother. He has not introduced me to anybody. Maybe that man is even the right person. He's putting you to test. But the one that is rushing you is not the right person.
Yes.
He will rush you to give up everything you have for him. You release your mind for him. At the end of the day, you will become something else. Some see you with what they want to achieve, they will rush you rush so that they can get you before you realize who they are. If you see that kind of man rushing you, immediately you met with him, he tell you, fine. So we just the first impression, say, I want to marry you. I'm looking for a woman that to marry. Some will tell you, women have really deal with me. And now that I see you, I just you have to ask him, how did you know that me, I will not be the same with those people? Because even some married men will come and meet you that my wife is not good. If you tell me my wife is not good, I will tell you, is it today that you discover it? Is it when you see me you discover that your wife was not good? Why is your wife still there too with you? So some men, some guys do, they do that. Some use you to break up their relationship. They will use you to break up their relationship because they are tired of that relationship. They see you, I can use this girl. So the only way you can discover that this person, like, it's not really like I'm saying it, that is the only way you can discover. But make sure you didn't hide anything. Don't hide your character. And don't rush into agreement. Don't rush into agreement. That's the number one thing. No matter how desperate you are of age, you are supposed to be married, all your friends are getting married, have got married, and you want to marry. Don't rush. If the man says I want to marry, I'm not in a hurry. I'm not even marrying in 5 years' time. Let the man be the one to convince you that. Okay, I'll wait for you.
That's the take home. Let the man be the one to convince you. That's actually a very powerful take home for our viewers. So, Pastor, you want to add?
Yeah, actually, what my wife is saying is true. You know, some men are not really matured. You know, first of all, you have to understand that even the devil is interested in your marriage. Yes, because marriage is of God. Marriage is a union built by God. So it's good for every man to be in a relationship with a woman at least 6 months, so that you'll be able to study each other to understand if both of you are compatible. Because you can't marry someone that does not agree with you. The sign must be there. It starts, what you see in relationship is also going to happen in marriage. If in a relationship your husband is beating you, just be sure that he's going to beat in marriage. If in a relationship your boyfriend is lying to you, also be sure that he's going to lie to you in marriage. So it's from the beginning you begin to see those signs. They will not hide. Even if they hide, they will not hide more than 3 months.
Of course.
So character is one attribute. You must be able to know if you like this person's character, if you can tolerate the person's character. And some men are very dirty. They are just dirty. You know, so women, they are organized. Some men, they are not organized. They don't assist their wife. They don't assist them to do anything. They just come back home. They want their wife to do everything for them. So there is very obvious that if you're observant, if you're very careful, and you will know, you will truly know, because by their fruit you shall know them. So when you're in a relationship, number one, you study your partner, and also you also have to be prayerful. You know, God can reveal your wife to you in revelation. You can also, through prayer, you can understand that this is your wife. Because marriage is not something you marry today and tomorrow you say you don't want to marry again. You know, it's not something you handle carelessly. It's something you carefully and prayerfully handle. And before you know, the negative aspect of that person, you begin to see it. I don't marry person out of pity. I don't marry person because he is worthy, or because he is beautiful, or the woman is fair, or that beauty is there. Tomorrow, that beauty will disappear. Yes, that thing you see today can disappear tomorrow. So one of all, you must know what you want in that person. And you should be able to communicate it to that person. Let that person agree with you. That agreement must be there, because two shall become one. Both of you shall be able to be one. You cannot be saying yes and your wife is saying no. You say, let's go to church. You say, I don't want to go to church. I want to go to this place. You say, so from that relationship, you begin to see the signs. The signs will begin to show. So if at a point you are no longer comfortable with that relationship, it's good to break it up, because a broken relationship is better than divorce. And that's why some people don't they see all these things, they stay in there, and they enter, don't worry, it will change. It won't change. It will change, especially when it has turned to a habit. You know, so men have developed bad habits. They are there deceiving a lot of women. You women, they are very easy to deceive for those that want men to deceive them. So you see a man has a wife and he's still looking after he's going after other young girls and deceiving them. So all these things are not difficult if you're very observant and if you're patient. At least you should be able to study your partner for 3 months. There is no way you study your partner 3 to 6 months that the character will not show. And if you find out that you're not comfortable with those things, then you have to give it up. And secondly, don't show up. Don't use material things to start. Don't start with money. You understand? That's the mistake that some people make. You can't use money. Yes, you can't use money. Maybe you are not even as rich as the woman. The small money for you invest for your business, you carry and they work out the fast food, they spend up and down. And the woman will not believe that this guy has money. Then when you are fully enter the relationship, she will not say that what she saw is not the way it is.
Yes.
And when she now see a third party that begin to offer her material things, her mind will be there. So the mistakes are mostly from the men, not the women. So you must be real. Be real. Just appear the way you are. Don't forge, don't pretend. If you're poor, let your partner know that you're poor, but don't make her believe that you're going to be poor forever. You understand? Express your vision. Even you're living in one room cannot stop you. I'm in one room today, but in the next 5 years, this is my plan. This is what I want to do. This is where I'm going. Then that your partner, if he believes in that your vision, he will support you. She can even go ahead to bring her own savings to support you. Lastly, remain faithful. Faithfulness is the key to a successful marriage or to build a successful relationship. You must be faithful, and that trust must be there.
Very important.
Yes, that trust must be there.
Thank you very much, sir. That's very insightful. Very insightful, guys. And I pray that we are learning one or two from what Pastor and his beautiful wife have been telling us here on set. Okay, so Pastor, of course, we cannot go without getting a final word from you, as well as a beautiful wife, before we end this episode. So, what final advice do you have for our beautiful viewers beyond the podcast?
Right, my final advice for my viewers out there is don't rush into marriage. Because when you rush into marriage, you have to rush and take your time, make your research, know exactly what you want. You understand? Don't marry a woman because she's worthy, and don't marry a man because he's worthy. Find out if both of you are compatible, and also build that relationship with communication. Communicate with your partner, and also build trust. Trust. Let your partner be able to trust you and have peace. Because when this fear used to come in, is when the trust is not there. Every minute you're feeling your partner is telling you he's going to the market and from there he's going to see somebody else. So let that trust be there. When that trust is there, fear cannot come in.
Thank you, Pastor. So, Mrs. Rosemary Francis Ogo, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I said it all. It's the same thing, because if those things are not together, they will not be perfect.
Yes.
What brings perfectness is trust.
Mm-hmm.
What makes love perfect is trust and faithfulness. When a man is faithful, the woman is faithful. You trust your wife, he goes here, there is where he said he's going. And that way he is. So it will not be, man, I saw your wife in the hotel. My wife is in the hotel. When you go to that, I will cut off his head. If your wife is, don't go and tell your wife is in the hotel. Wait for your wife. You know the kind of woman you have.
Exactly.
That is where the trust works.
Guys, you have heard it, so I didn't say anything again. So please, at the end of the day, let God lead you. Let God lead you in your relationship, whatever kind of relationship you're in. Let God lead you. Trust God to lead you, and He will definitely lead you, right? So thank you guys so much, of course, for watching to the end of this episode. Thank you for sharing our videos. We have been seeing your good works. You guys have been awesome. You're commenting, you're sharing, you're liking. We appreciate you so much, and that's why we're here. And that's why we keep dishing new content to you, because of the love we get from you guys. We appreciate you guys. We're not taking it for granted. And of course, guys, you have to follow us on all our other social media platforms. on YouTube. You already know at Beyond Board, and on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on Twitter at Beyond Board Podcast. So until next time that we come your way, I am Onyedib, your girl, and
Pastor Francis.
Rosemary.
thank you guys. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.